my chatterboxes. If you guys haven't done so already, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you guys know when my videos pop up. And don't forget to share, tell a friend, tell a friend, tell a friend. I really appreciate it. So without further ado, let's just get right into this review. This is my review for Love at the Lockup, Season 3, Episode 2, Bad at Being Good. So it starts off with Lindsay and Scott. So he's going to meet with Lindsay, mom and her daughter, because she's about to get released. And we learned that her mom is actually her grandmother, but she raised her, so she considered her to be her mom. And Lindsay is due to be released, but what we learned on this episode too is that Lindsay always get in trouble, so they hoping for the best with her. She's been locked up, and every time she's locked up, she's been having little incidents behind bars. Behind bars. I think this may be her longest stretch where she hasn't had any incidents. So she says she's really good at being bad. So we shall see, because last episode they said when they do those little clips, she was still in there doing quarantine. So that's letting everybody to believe that she actually never got out. But we'll see how this play out. So anyway, the producers was asking him how do he feel like he's being used, and he was like, no, because she invited me to to her house with her mom and her daughter, and to meet them and get acquainted with them. I don't think she'll just be doing that for any Joe Smo. And he's absolutely right. But she could also be like, okay, I know he's harmless, he's a sucker, we're gonna get him, and I'm gonna have to play this thing a little smart. That could have just been the way she played it, just to keep you on the hook. I mean, that's another way of looking at it, if you ask me. But we're going to have to get to the bottom of what's going on with his lip. Because if it's a deformity, we're not going to make fun of it. But if it's not, I'm going to drag him. But I don't want to go hard on him yet until we kind of find out exactly what's going on with the lip. Because if he has a deformity, I don't want to make fun of that. But we shall see. So Lindsay's daughter, she says how she hasn't seen her mom in over a year, how she can't wait to see her mom. And she pretty much likes Scott. She said he bought her clothes. He actually bought the clothes that she was wearing there. So she was like, he made a good first impression. I guess so. He financing your school clothes and taking care of you and treating you nice. I guess he did make a good impression. The grandmom / mom, she broke down because she said Lindsay was going to school. I think she graduated from community college. She was like, but she didn't even know that other side that was going on with Lindsay. And Lindsay, in her little confessional, she said that she just didn't see a need to keep on that straight path that she was on. Well, first of all, she got hooked on meth. So in order to get her high, she had to do things because her regular 9 to 5 wasn't cutting it and supplying enough drugs that she needed, because I guess she wanted to get high more than she had enough to be able to do with that regular 9 to 5. So she starts hustling. And she said that it didn't make sense to stay on the path of going to college and get a degree when she can make $10,000 in a night. I think she said $10,000. That's what it sounded like she said. And I'm like, damn, is that much money in that? But then look at the repercussions for it. You in jail. You're away from your daughter. So it really wasn't worth it. So, I don't know. Lindsay got that bad ass makeup on in jail. Oh my God. It's horrible. Look like a cheap little hooker. But I guess you gotta get what you can get when you locked up in a slammer. So now we see John. He's awaiting Kristiana release. Today is her release day. So he has a couple people with him, a limo driver, I guess it was one of them is the person who's going to marry him is a female and a male. I'm not exactly sure who they are to him just yet. So they're helping him out, getting the back of the truck ready for the honeymoon the ceremony slash honeymoon. So they had, pulled out the steps that him and his brother had made last episode. They had like little, white twinkling lights with little green garland. I'm not gonna lie, for it to be in the back of a truck, it didn't look that bad. It wouldn't be something that I would be like, oh, I want to do, but it did not look horrible. It really didn't. I was kind of impressed, to be quite honest. So he was actually putting some curtains like on the side of his van truck, and they was like, well, what are you putting curtains up on the side of the truck? He was like, because I don't want the cops to see me when I'm getting lucky. I'm like, TMI. Don't nobody want to hear all of that. So, he said that he was a little nervous. He was like, because Kristiana says that she loves him, but she's not in love with him, because she gotta actually be with him and be intimate with him, to get that kind of connection. So he's a little nervous that she may turn him down, because he planned on proposing to her soon when she gets out of jail, and it's like a 40-minute window from the time she got out of jail to the time she got to be at the halfway house. So everything gotta happen quick. So he says that he doesn't have a good track record with women. He's been married 4 times, twice to the same woman. So I'm like, I can see why you're in the predicament that you are in right now, because you it's already been proven that you make impulsive decisions. You can just see that. But we'll see how it turn out. Let's see. So now we see Maurice and Jessica. Well, we see Jessica first. So she's getting ready because today he's being released. And, we find out that she hasn't actually physically seen him in 2 years, because he was accused of bringing contraband into the jail. So they restricted his visits. So she said it's been like 2 years since they've been able to have sex, because they were having sex because they were married. So they were able to have conjugal visits. And she said, oh, he goes like an Energizer bunny. He just keep going and going and going. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a little bit TMI. I didn't need to hear all that. But, go off, sis, go off. So anyway, we find out that she has a little hesitation with, him coming home, because she said she don't know if he was using her just for sex. She said he was talking to a girl right before her, and the girl was sending him a lot of money, and she just don't know basically what type of time he's on. So she put on this little skimpy dress, like skimpy dress. She looks like, I didn't realize she was as thick as she is. So it looks like she may have been like real fat and maybe had some kind of weight loss surgery, or she just thick bone, thick, but I don't know, like she's real thick, but not in a unproportioned type of way. So she made sure she had the boobs out and the thighs out, okay? Yes, she did. So she came from, I think she lived in Las Vegas and she came to California because that's where he's being released. So she made that drive all the way out there. So she has the little reservations, and we'll see. But I didn't know this last episode that her mouth was as raggedy as it is. Like, I hope you didn't send him all that money, because you could have paid to get your mouth done. You could have invested in that instead of investing into, his commissary, because your mouth is hit. Your mouth is hit. So Maurice did indeed get out of jail, and he was ecstatic to see his lovely white woman, because that's what he referred to her as. He was ecstatic to see her. So he basically said, he was excited. He can't wait to, do with her, with, little Miss Jessica. He said, screw his friends, that's his so-called friends in there, sue everybody. He rocking with her. She's been down with him for the last 4 years, and well, almost 5 years. He was like, and that's where he wanted to be. So the producers was like, well, what you want to do? He was like, what you think I want to do? I want to go have sex. So they end up getting in the car. She was like, come on, baby. So they end up getting in the car. They go to the hotel. So we already know what that's about. So I don't know. Maurice is a handsome guy. He just seemed like he still seemed real immature from just, what we seen of him just briefly. Um, she looked like she might gonna have her work cut out for little old Maurice, but we shall see. We shall see. So now we have Chevelle. Quaylon, he gets released the next day. So she's gearing up, to go meet up with his mom and for them to go up to the prison to pick him up. So her mom and her sister came over to pick up her daughter. So Chevelle says, she's been through a lot with men. She's always end up being, used. And she said what made her really look at him differently is the fact that he sent her daughter a birthday card. She was like, that kind of solidified it for her. And I'm like, I mean, that's a nice gesture and all, but it should be taking you more than just him sending your daughter a birthday card for you to be all in with him. And then she reveals that her daughter calls him dad. And I mean, I know she stated that her father isn't in her life, but I just think that's a bad move for you to be having your daughter call him father. But to each his own. That's how some women rock. I don't rock that way, but I don't know. I just don't think that's a good look. So anyway, her mom, basically wanted to have a conversation with her aside from her sister and her daughter. So they went out. And she was basically saying, I hope you're making the right decision. She was like, you've been waiting for this day for 2.5 years. I hope everything that he said to you is true. She was like, but I hope and I pray that you, if you feel something that's not right, that you will be able to walk away from the situation. She was like, and he's either going to be a lesson or a blessing. And she prayed that he's the blessing. But mom looked crazy with that wig and that lipstick, because both of their wigs was giving me anxiety. Both of their wigs was giving me anxiety. But I did like what mom had to say. Mom said, I raised you with morals. I raised you, with respect, things like that. And in this situation, you're going to have to lean on it. We had to lean on how you were raised. And mom told her nothing but the truth. Nothing but the truth. And the mom said, for her sake, she hoped that he turned out to be everything that he said he is. She was like, but she got his eye on him and he got stuff to prove to her. Absolutely. Because it's not just Chevelle that was invested in that. They invested into Chevelle and they invested into Chevelle's child. So they in turn invested into whatever Chevelle got going on with Quaylon to a certain extent. You know what I'm saying? So he got to show and prove. Don't come out here showing your ass. Don't come out here showing your ass. Because in his goddamn confessional, he was showing off his tattoos and things like that. And he had his mom a couple times and he was like, well, mom got to approve of it. Because if mom don't approve of it, I don't even know if we can go on. What? See, what? So if your mom don't approve of her, you willing to cut her, throw her to the wayside because your mother doesn't approve of her, but she shows you that she was loyal and down for you? Like, no, I'm not saying turn. Your mom would just have to come around. That's what she would have to do. She would have to adjust. So Chevelle ended up taking the trip to go get Quaylon or Quaylon or whatever his goddamn name is. So she had to go pick up his mom. So that was the first time they were meeting. So they did the usual pleasantries. Hi, how are you? You're so pretty. Oh, you're pretty. Hi, nice to meet you. Again, another bad wig, another bad wig. So they were, doing the usual small talk. And come to find out, the mom didn't know. Well, we knew that she didn't know. The mom didn't know that Quaylon was trying to stay in Kansas with Chevelle, because the mother wants him to go to Houston where she is, and that was the reason why that she moved to Houston, because she didn't want him to come back to Kansas and get into the same trap with the same old guys and things like that. So Chevelle and her, they were in the car, and when Chevelle said, "Well, how do you feel?" So yeah, Chevelle had asked Quaylon mom, "Well, how do you feel about being back here in Kansas, knowing that Quaylon is going to be here, staying here?" She was like, "What?" She was like, "Well, basically this is news to me." She was like, I didn't have I didn't have no knowledge of knowing that he was going to come and stay here, because last time we talked, or the conversations we was having, he was coming to Texas. That's the reason why you know we that's the reason why I even moved there, so he can get out of that bad environment. So she was saying, "Well, Quaylon been away." Chevelle was saying, "Quaylon been away for 12 years. How do you know that he'll go back into those old patterns? You don't know that. He's an adult." The mom wasn't trying to hear none of that stuff, because she said she already told her that she hasn't seen him in 3 years. She was like, she missed her baby. She was like, she want to be, hug her baby. She want to be there for, with her baby, and she don't want to lose him. Chevelle ain't trying to hear that. And Chevelle said that they made a pact, I guess like a year ago, that they won't keep anything from one another. So she feeling the way, because she's saying that Quaylon, lied to her about his intentions, and she said she don't know if he lied to her or lied to the mom, but she gonna get to the bottom of it. Listen, the mom said he needs to come home and be with his family, and I will take my son up out of there. And she was like, "You." So Chevelle was like, "You gonna take him up out of there? Yeah, like yeah, whatever." She was like, "Yeah, and he'll come too." And Chevelle looking like, okay, but he did say in his confessional that if mom don't approve, he don't know how he could proceed. So mom, she might got a little bit pulled there. He might be a big mama's boy. He really do. So I don't know, Chevelle. I don't know, Chevelle. You got mama drama. That's what you got. You ain't got baby mama drama. You got mama drama. So moving on, now we have Sean and Destiny. Destiny calls Sean while he's, driving to meet his daughter and his ex-girlfriend. So he tells her how he was able to post, bond for her, and after he was looking at her extensive rap sheet, he had to put up the 5 grand. But if she bails, he's on the hook. I think it's 20K, 20 or 50K that he's on the hook for. So she was like, "Well, I know it looks bad." She was like, "But I had to go through all those things in order to be the person that I am now. And just look, if I didn't go through those things, I wouldn't have never met you." She never said, "Okay, babe, I'm not." She never reassured him that she wasn't going to skip out on a bill or come out here and do the things that she was doing. She just basically danced around the whole goddamn thing. So then she was like, "I gained 20 pounds. You better not look at me differently. I ain't gonna have no makeup. I'm just trying to look good for you." It was just like rambling. Like you could tell she probably still get high right now. She probably still get high right now. No cat. You can tell she's on drugs. So he ended up meeting up with his his mother, his children, and his daughter. They went to Plato's Closet. It's a thrift store. That's where they were at. So the daughter was shopping, I guess, for some clothes, and she went to go try her clothes on. So he was talking to his kid's mother. So she knew that he was talking to someone in prison, but she didn't know to the extent. She didn't know that he was thinking about marrying her. She didn't know that he actually wanted her to come stay with him. She was like, "You don't even know if she's real. You don't know if she's a guy. You're gonna bring her in the house with my children, and she went to jail for drugs, like." And he's saying she's not on drugs anymore. She can change. She was like, well, I don't believe so. I don't believe people can change. And she asked him, she was like, well, have you given them any money? And she was like, have you given her any money? And he was like, yes. How much? A couple thousand. A couple thousand. You could have used that on our kids. She's absolutely right. She's absolutely right. She was like, she just using you for your money. No, she not. She not using me for my money. Yes, she is. She using you for your money. You never even seen her. She's definitely catfishing your ass. And you will see. So, when she realized that he was, on the verge of wanting to pop the question, she was like, well, we were together for 22 years. I'm the mother of your kids. You never married me. So what was I? I was good enough to have your kids, but I wasn't good enough for you to marry me. Well, people just different. People just change. I'm like, oh gosh. I'm like, you gave him 22 years and 6 kids, and he didn't even attempt to marry you, girl. So Sean, baby mother, she excused herself out the store so he could talk to her daughter, to their daughter. So he basically told the daughter what the situation was and how he's dating a female that's in jail, and when she's about to get out, and he planned on having her stay with him. So the daughter, she started crying, and she asked him what he was in jail. What was she in jail for? She told him. He told him. She was like, well, that's pretty serious. So basically, the daughter is upset because she said it seems as though he's trying to start a new family. So he reassured her, like, listen, that because me and your mom didn't work out, that don't mean, I gave up on, y'all, which, your brothers, you and your, siblings. Listen, that's a tough little situation because it's like, you did not prepare your kids for this, and then you want to just thrust this woman into the situation and think everybody's supposed to just play ball because this is what you want to happen. You have to ease children into situations, especially a situation like this. It's not an ideal situation. You just can't merge everybody together and think it's going to be kumbaya, happy family time. Hell no. That shit gonna take work. And people be living in their delusions, and they just think, oh, I can control the situation. You cannot control people. You can't. You don't even know this woman, never met her, and you gonna bring her in the house with your damn kids. Make it make sense. Make it make sense. These, I don't know who's more stupider, the men or the women. If you guys, I want to take a poll on that. Who's more stupid? Who's the stupidest? The men on these shows, Love at the Lockup, or the women? Because I don't know. I can't gauge it because these they off they goddamn rocker. I'm going to move past Scott and Lindsay because I already talked about when Scott met up with Lindsay's daughter and her mother at the park, and the things that were said there. I already talked about that when I talked about them early in the review. So I'm going to skip past them, and we're going to go into Kristiana and John. Kristiana, she finally gets out. John pulled up in the limo. He pulled up in the limo. He swore he was stunned, like he was going to the prom or something. So Kristiana comes out, and I ain't gonna lie, she looked like she could have been. She could look like she could have been stealing coochie up in there. I'm just saying. I don't know. She looked a little rough. That's a hard. They said she 35. That's a hard 35. A hard 35. So she was saying how she met, John through like the pen pal, and she said she finally like let somebody. She finally opened her heart up to somebody, and she had a rough life. She did a lot of bad things, and she just trying to get on the right track. So who knows? Cause she looked like I don't know. She looked like she's still using in there. She just looked like that to me. So anyway, John, she asked me. She asked him. She was like, "Do we got the limo all day?" He was like, "That's a negative." So he ended up popping the question to her, and then it cuts off. But she was like a little hesitant, but I think she gonna end up saying yeah. So we'll see. So we will see how everything turns out. If you guys like the video, please feel free to like,